My name is Rosemary McGrath. I'm the Chief Architect at Statistics New Zealand, and I'm going to take a little bit of a governmenty edge to this, so I hope it'll be still interesting for you, those of you who aren't in the public service. But it's really around, is government doing enough to support where we need to go? And I think we've heard a lot this morning about where we might need to go, so let's have a think. And I just wanted to point you to some key references, all of which get longer. So you heard how long the AI Forum report is. The House of Lords is 186 pages. And the All for Good, AI for Good Global Summit has a series of webcasts that will last you hours. So, yeah. I guess the thing about all of these is that they contain the basis for a lot of thinking that we need to do and a lot of conversations we need to have. And actually, it is quite fun, depending on the kind of person you are, but I find it fun to go through and think about what some of these things mean. So what you're going to hear as I talk is a few of the things I've thought about as I've gone through these things. Okay, so the question was, what is government doing? Is government doing enough? Enough what? So enough enabling, enough funding, enough regulating, enough observing, enough partnering, or enough guiding? It's probably doing all of that in every agency. There's one of the problems. So it was really interesting when Minister Curran gave her talk at the AI Forum, AI Day. And she talked a lot. She gave lots and lots and lots of examples of what government was doing. But her big concern was, it's all a bit disconnected. And I think that would be fair to say that that is true. And it really is interesting where people are looking, what people are looking at. But what we struggle with is getting that visible. We talk about open and transparent government. It's quite hard when we're not that open and transparent with ourselves. So I think it's worth keeping this in mind, that we're perceived as being disconnected. People see that now. And AI is one area where we need to start looking connected, that we're actually trying to do something together. Oops, that thing. So I thought, well, how shall I talk about all of these things and what I've been wondering about after reading some of those articles and lots of other stuff. And I thought, oh, I'll start with the value chain. It's nice and published, lots of people can have access to it. But I just wanted to read one quote that I quite like. That came out of the AI for Good Global Summit, and it was from Professor Kentaro Toyama from Michigan University. And it basically says, technology, no matter how well designed, is only a magnifier of human intent and capacity. Therefore, we determine where this goes. Only us. So what I wanted to do was quickly kind of whip through this value chain, and I'll go really, really fast. So, trust and social license. What I really like, particularly in New Zealand, for people to think about is also cultural license. So there's quite a lot around how and where people will use data. And there's actually quite a lot that we need to understand about where different communities, different iwi even, feel about where data is used, how data is used about them. And we need to talk to people about how we want to use data. That is how you build trust and social license and cultural license. I thought the other really important thing is that there's quite a lot of research available on how New Zealand citizens feel. And mostly they feel okay as long as it's for public good. What they don't get so fantastic about is if you think it's for their good. So public good is quite a broad concept that we need to really get our head around. And then just last week, Pia Nadia and I hosted a wee event here in Wellington around futures. And one of the key things that came out and really surprised me that we needed to keep our eyes on was the fact that we actually retain humanity in all of this. So it's really important, go and get your design thinking books and put people at the centre of what we're doing. It's easy to think about AI in terms of what it will save us, get more efficient, be more effective for who? This side of this thing, which I think is a little bit narrow in its focus, could have environment, could have te ao Māori, could have lots of other things over that side. this is the most important thing, but who's deciding what those outcomes are and who they're for? And I think that this trust and social license will never happen if you don't engage the people who that's supposed to be with. I don't think government is doing enough in this regard. Okay, the regulatory frameworks, just really quickly. I think most people are, because there is really nothing else, moving towards the privacy regulations. And also you'll see things like GDPR and that having an influence in this country. So there is work, but I was at a forum the other week and somebody said, is regulation and legislation what's needed in the world today for this particular type of work? Can we keep up? Look how long legislation takes. Look what it takes to change legislation. Look what it takes to employ regulation. Is it the right thing? Do we need sanctions? Horrible word, don't know. How much notice did Facebook take of our privacy commissioner? How concerned were they about not abiding with New Zealand law? And I'm going to skip pretty much right to the end now, just in the efforts of time. I'm happy to chat about any of this if you want to, any other time. So I think the thing about accessible data is really interesting and should be quite a concern for government for two reasons. One is government does hold a lot of data, but a lot of people would think it's deficit data. So it's data because of people who've had to come and liaise with government, often in not the best of circumstances. So we talk a lot about opening it up, but are we doing enough to go and find where the alternate to this deficit data is? Are we really? I don't think so. I don't know that we even know where it is. I think the other kind of core thing is that government could be seen as a bit of a monopoly in this space. So I think it's really important that all those principles around open data, we're seen to be really kind of on the front foot around all of that. Because we hold a lot. There is quite a lot that people have to go through at the moment if we've decided not to make it open. And so researchers have to be, prepared to state their outcomes that they're looking to achieve right at the beginning. It's not that free and easy. I guess what I really wanted people to walk away with is that I didn't give you any answers. All I gave you was more questions. But I do not think that government is doing enough. I do not think that we're joined up enough. I do not think that we talk enough. Thank you. Hopefully